Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this.
Welcome back to the Soul Tribe Podcast, everybody. This is Lorena, and I am doing a solo episode today. The episode for today was something I channeled while I was, on a walk, actually, one of my morning walks. And I got this download to really just talk about religion and spirituality. First of all, from this concept of not only, I guess because a lot of people do come to us for readings, like because Lucy and I both do Akashic Record readings for other people. And a lot of people come to us and talk to us about their background with religion, how that holds them back from their spiritual path, a lot of judgment. There's kind of a lot of belief systems around that hold them back from feeling like they can connect spiritually, or that they can be kind of, free on the spiritual path that they want and need to be on for their growth and connection to self and self-development. So really, I think it's also come up because we're obviously going into promoting level 2 very soon. We've already finished channeling the manual. And it's this idea of not only that people come to us for readings, but when you become a reader, either for yourself or for others, it's sometimes best not to have this a rigid belief system or some kind of religion or kind of system that's holding us back from fully opening up and not judging others or judging ourselves. Not to say that you can. One doesn't have anything to do with the other. And something I always like to say, even during readings, is the Akashic Records has no affiliation with any religions. It accepts all religions and it's open to all belief systems. But at the same time, if you're closed off to one idea, and this is let's move outside of religion. Let's go into just a belief system you have about yourself or the universe or how you can manifest. They're only going to meet you as far as you can go with your own thoughts and your own understandings. So the more open we can be, the less judgmental we can be about others and ourselves, the more they're, the master's guides and beings of light in your soul are going to open up for you to understand things in a completely different way. So I find a lot with readings that I do for others that at someone's religious past or belief system can play a huge role in their spiritual path and their development and how they open up to spirituality. And something that really does come up a lot too is this idea of, maybe you grew up in this very strict religious family. You didn't necessarily believe in going to church or doing this or doing that, but your family forced you to. And maybe they continued to believe in certain things and push certain things on you. And now today you want to go on a spiritual path. You don't want to be going to church or doing this or doing that. And then you feel still that pull of that judgment from them. And this has come up many times in readings and in courses of, individuals that just feel that they're being judged by their family, that they might be doing something wrong because spirituality somehow might not be the same thing as religion. And this is how I kind of see it with my Akashic Records open. Both can bring you enlightenment, both can help you as long as you kind of steer it in the direction that serves you. And sometimes things can be so structured with certain belief systems that it's really difficult for you to open up to your own knowledge and your own kind of information. And spirituality for me, if I look at it down this path of the Akashic Records, it is a lot about just trusting yourself, getting to know yourself and knowing what's right for you. but also not judging others, being open to your lessons, your karmic lessons, the people that need to be in your life, and always looking to take one step further in learning, progressing, and opening up to something new in your life and to growing. I think growth is like a big part of spirituality. And I do believe and instead of using the word religion, I'm just going to use belief systems, because I think it's not just religion. With a lot of belief systems, it's very rigid. It's very, well, 1 + 1 is 2. And if you do this, this is going to happen to you. And there's a lot of fear behind, if I do this thing, then so this other thing's going to happen to me, and I'm doomed or something like that, right? And that is the complete opposite of spirituality. It's like you're expected to make mistakes. You're expected to go down these paths that might not feel like quote unquote ideal, but ultimately they're going to be a part of your path, because they're going to help you get to your next step or help you learn that lesson that you need to learn in this life. The important thing is always the intention you go into things and how you open up to them and why you're doing them. Like, are you doing them to hurt somebody? If that's your intention, then obviously they're going to see that as something that maybe wasn't ideal, but they're still not going to point their finger in your face and say, well, you did this wrong. Well, now you're going to have to pay for it. Doesn't work that way. It's more of a karmic thing, right? It's, well, if you don't learn this lesson in this life, the next life you might have to repeat this in a different way until you do get it. So it's better to just learn it now and go through the hardship now and just understand it, understand yourself, and just figure it out. And going back a little bit about the readings and the belief systems and family and friends, I've had so many readings, with different individuals that I could feel their pain. I could feel the rejection that their family was projecting onto them and giving them this really hard time, because maybe they weren't going to church. Maybe they weren't doing these practices that they were expected to do, or to live a specific way. And let's even point it in that direction, right? It's like, let's take away belief systems. It's, I expected you to become a lawyer. I expected you to become a doctor, and now you're not. So, you've disappointed me. And then you have to kind of see that as a reader and kind of think, wow, there's a lesson in here, first of all. Of course, there always is. And maybe this is you having to go down another path and really being strong in your will and knowing that what's right for you and feels right for you is the right thing to do. And no one can tell you what's right and what's wrong. It's a very difficult situation, and I can totally feel that, because for me as well in my life, it's always been, how can I please others, and how can I make sure that I'm not a burden, or how can I make sure that I don't disappoint somebody, because then I feel really crappy and I feel really bad inside of myself, and then I feel like I've let everybody down. And I think we need to move away from that energy and realize that, just because you are spiritual or you're not spiritual, or because you believe in something or you don't, that doesn't make you better or worse or less disappointing or more disappointing. It's just what your truth is. And I think as long as we can all respect each other's choices and decisions, we're going to all be in a way better energetic situation on Earth right now, with other things that are also happening right now. And another thing I want to mention here is readings. When I think a lot of people also think, oh, because I'm associated with this belief system or this other belief system, I can't get a reading. And it really doesn't work that way. You can go down any spiritual path, mostly, I think, and I believe that at least, regardless of a belief system you have. Maybe you're just trying to find yourself. Maybe you just want to connect to your masters and guides in your soul, and have them assist you along the way of understanding yourself more. And that was what it was for me, connecting with the Akashic records, right? And you don't have to believe in something, and you don't have to not believe in something to receive information from the Akashic records. And that's what I really love about it. It's not associated with anything. It can be and morph into whatever it needs to be for you, for your reading. And you'll get the information in the best way possible. So if if you're not even that spiritual, but you still want to get a reading, they'll be very picky with the words they use. And when I say they, every time I say they, it's masters, guides, your soul, beings of light. They're going to be very picky, and the way they communicate to you will be for you to understand it yourself, not anybody else. It's your book, it's your information, and they know your personality. They know what you're going through. They understand you more than you might even understand yourself. And it's really beautiful in that sense, because it doesn't have to be the same for everybody. The experience is completely different. That's why it's very hard to explain it to somebody when they're getting a reading or they're going to get a reading for the first time. Once you experience it, you know it, you understand it, you got it. And then you can grow, you can continue to kind of understand yourself more. And I understand that it takes so much energy to move away from all this judgment you might be receiving from your family, or that you feel that you're receiving from your belief system, or from something you think you did wrong and you can't forgive yourself. Especially when you have so many family members and maybe a community behind that, that might make you feel guilty, or might make you feel like you disappointed them, or that you've done something wrong. And I guess I'm just here to kind of clear that up. It's like your soul will never make you feel bad. Your soul will understand whatever you're going through. Your masters, your guides also understand what you're going through. And I know a lot of people, and this is kind of what's coming up with my Akashic records right now. I know there's so much going on in the world, and I know a lot of people are going through so much, and I can feel it and I can understand it, and other times I disconnect from it because it's too much. But right now they're bringing that feeling forward, and it's really like emotional, and it's really this energy of, you need to give yourself grace, and you need to give yourself that love and that understanding that other people aren't giving you. And you need to rely on the tools that are good for you, not for somebody else. So if right now you are you're super connected to a specific belief system and a way of living, or you feel like you need to open up to something new, but it feels a little scary, like just trust your intuition and do what you think is right for you to help yourself. Be it the Akashic records or whatever, it doesn't matter. Trust it. Like maybe you've had this gut feeling of like, I need to try Reiki. But, even here, I remember when I was studying Reiki with this amazing teacher here in the Cayman Islands, she was, and this is something I was unaware of. I did not even know this. She was like, that she doesn't really, I think she said this, she doesn't really tell a lot of people that she does Reiki, because there are a lot of people that are very connected with different religions here, and they go to church, and they're very, very connected to that community, and they automatically think Reiki is like against their religion and that it's harming them or doing something wrong. And it's like, no, it can only enhance whatever you're doing. It doesn't go against anything. The same thing with the Akashic records. And I remember her telling me that, and it was like a huge wake-up call. I was like, wow, I didn't, like, in my eyes, I guess I don't see it that way ever, because first of all, no one's ever taught me to think that way. And second of all, it was kind of like, wow, okay, so this is supposed to be wrong, but it's helping people. What's wrong with that? It's like I still can't really wrap my head around it, how we can be sometimes so close-minded to help ourselves when there's so many tools out there, and we're all really suffering in so many ways right now. There's so many people that are going through so much and having a really difficult time, and we're all here to help each other. And I don't want to make anybody feel bad, and this isn't about bashing anybody. This is just about trying to open the conversation up about the belief systems and spirituality, and understanding that they can coexist. They can live in the same space, and they don't have to be separate. And I think that's something that I feel very grateful for. When Lucy and I were very young, my mom never pushed anything on us. Mom or dad never pushed anything on us. It was kind of like, whatever you want to do, whatever feels right for you. And my mom is very spiritual, but she also is very much into a lot of things that are Catholic, and a lot of praying and all of that. And it coexists in the same roof, right? And it all works together, and it's all great. And I think also we always mention our grandma, and she's also very, very religious, but she's also in her own way like a witch, like a good witch, of course, like a witch that helps others and heals people and does spells and does this and does that and does clearings. So to me, it was never a question of like, it's one or the other. It's, they can both be together, and it works beautifully because they help each other. And I guess here it's like, you need to make that decision, what works for you and what really is for your like best and highest good, because you should be able to do whatever you want, and that's your choice. And so many people that have come forward in our courses and in our readings that have said that they are not even comfortable speaking about spiritual topics, like maybe even oracle cards or Reiki or getting a reading, because they're afraid of their family kind of thinking they're crazy, or that they've done something wrong, or feeling disappointed, or saying that, they can't do that, like that's just wrong or something like that. And this creates a whole other belief system around that, and it creates emotions around guilt, shame, unworthiness, fear, and this literally just pushes you into the way of the ego and into the whole opposite direction you need to be going to with spirituality, which is trusting, opening up, connection, flowing. And this also doesn't help you if you're trying to connect to your Akashic records, or someone wanting to open your Akashic records, because you're in your ego, you're closed off, you're scared, and you're not allowing that information to flow. So I guess it's all kind of just this vicious cycle, right? That will just kind of keep perpetuating, and you're wanting to connect and you can't. So we have to clear out those beliefs that maybe that you've been given and taught from your family members or your community around you, and work through those and make sure that those aren't there holding you back from a path that you need to take. And I work a lot with actually some really beautiful flower essence remedies with this specific thing of people coming forward and saying, it was so strict in my family. Like we had to do this, we had to do that. And I was made to feel bad if I even questioned things or did this or asked these questions. And it's like, we need to work through that. Like that's something you can individually do, or you can get help from somebody. And like I said, there's even flower essences that can help, which is completely natural and are just working on you energetically. And to me, spirituality is universal. Anybody can connect with spirituality, and that is our right to do that. And it's complete and unconditional love. It's non-judgmental, and it's free will. And that part of free will is just so important, because that's part of why we're here. We have the free will to learn the lessons we want or not learn them. And we can do the things that we want and gain those benefits from it and live the way that we want. And obviously there's certain things in our contract that might hold us back from going in one direction. We might not even feel that desire to go in that direction. I truly feel if we have a desire inside of us that we need to work towards that, and don't let anybody stop you from doing that, because it's there for a reason. And spirituality is really I think mostly unstructured, and it's for you to experience and connect with things in this life and in this incarnation for a reason. And there's obviously guidelines and certain spiritual laws and things that, Lucy and I are very, very serious about when we teach the Akashic Records, especially level 2, there's certain things that we, we're going to be talking about in the manual and the courses. But there is no fear and there is no ego. It's complete and utter unconditional love. And it's acceptance and it's understanding and it's no judgment. And it's just like, to me, it's like this energy of someone coming in and hugging you and giving you all the love that they feel, and just understanding you from a place that sometimes you can't even understand yourself. That's how beautiful the energy is. And we all have access to that. And I've talked a lot about non-judgmental kind of energies within the Akashic Records, because to me that was a huge part of me connecting with the Akashic Records, because I was always judging myself. I was always so hard on myself and having difficulty kind of just understanding myself and loving myself. And that aspect of the Akashic Records and spirituality has really helped me not only connect to myself in a different way, but help me heal this relationship with myself and being so hard on myself. And it's just complete acceptance of who you are and what you're going through right now. And it's not trying to change you, it's just trying to make you understand what's going on so you can make better choices and move down a path that feels more aligned and purposeful for you. And you'll never, like, this is something I say in every reading, you're never going to hear something that is going to hurt you. They're never going to be hard on you. They might be a little bit, depending on the person and what's going on, they could be a little bit more, more serious with what they're saying to you, because it's something that maybe you're not taking seriously and you need to take seriously. But they'll never tell you that you've done something wrong. It's just your free will to do what you want. And of course, there's things that are more aligned and less aligned, but, that's still your choice to do what you want. And you don't have to make it up to the universe or fix it or make your soul feel better or make your master or apologize to your masters or guides. Like, it doesn't work that way. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. And it kind of backfiring on you or it hurting you in the future. It's okay. This is where I'm at right now. This is what's happening. This is the decisions I've made. And these are the consequences that I've paid for that in this earth and in this incarnation. What do I want? What is purposeful for me? And what are these, first of all, what is all these shadows that are keeping me from making the decisions I need to make? Because obviously if you're going down a specific path and making specific decisions that are harming you, let's put an example here because I think that would be good. Let's say that you keep self-sabotaging yourself from, let's say, meeting somebody that you really love and finding that partner in your life, or maybe from sabotaging yourself from finding that job because you won't study and you won't put yourself out there. So it's just this cycle of just the same action and reaction. And you maybe connect to your Akashic Records, or someone gives you information, or you download and you're like, wow, this is a repetitive issue in my life. It's holding me back from taking that step I really want to take and that would make me feel fulfilled. And once you understand it and you can start to unpack all of that kind of back and forth that you keep going and that going in circles and that repetitive. And it's like, okay, there's something behind all this. And this is where I think the Akashic Records comes in. It's, oh, okay, I see what's going on. Let's try to understand it. Why am I doing this? What is it serving me? Because everything we do is serving us in some way. It's giving us something. It's holding us back from feeling fear, or it's keeping us safe, or it's making us feel like more loved in some way because people are accepting us for the decisions we're making and we're pleasing people. There's something behind that. So when we kind of understand that, we unpack it through the questions we ask, through the downloads, through the connecting with ourselves. It could be through meditation, breath work, whatever that is for you. It doesn't have to be a reading. Once we can kind of unpack that and receive it and understand it, not judge it, not look at it for something it's not, just laying it out there on the table, just looking at it, observing it, bringing it to our conscious mind and understanding why it's there. Then we can start to flip it and say, okay, that's actually not what I want to be doing. And I know I'm probably causing myself more harm than good. That's okay. I'm not going to judge myself. I'm going to actually start to make different decisions. I'm going to start to face these fears of not being loved or accepted by others, or this fear of showing up because I think I'm going to make a mistake or fail, whatever that is. It could be a million things. When we can get to that point, that's when we start to make different decisions. So this is the unconditional love I'm talking about. I'm not going to tell you did something wrong necessarily because you didn't. This is just a choice you've made. And this is going to bring you down a specific path. But the reality is there's all of these things behind these decisions you're making. You can continue to do that if you like. Do you want to? Probably not. But let me start to work on this if that's something that my free will wants to do. If my free will decides to do something different, then that means I have to face all these things. I can't just ignore them because they're going to keep repeating themselves. You're always able to recenter yourself and find another way to live and connect. And the most important thing with any of this is the intention. If you're doing something out of an intention of protecting yourself, out of fear, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. It's just you're maybe not living from this kind of way that makes you feel connected to yourself and that, you accept yourself, and then you're just putting yourself out there and just living and doing and being. And maybe that's how you want to be living. So it's not that it's wrong. It's just maybe not what you really want deep down inside. So we need to clear out all that junk. Figure stuff out. Why are we doing things? Why are they there? And this is where I think belief systems can sometimes fail us. They can really support us in so many ways, but sometimes it's, oh, you did this wrong. Well, you can't do that anymore. And obviously we're not talking about serious things like killing somebody or, more serious things. I'm talking about when we're doing things with a good intention, but we keep messing up or we keep feeling that things aren't working out the way we want them to. And I think in those cases, there should be nothing that we need to apologize for or feel bad about. It's just a choice I made. I'm going to fix it in the sense of I'm going to realign myself. I'm going to figure out my why. I'm going to figure out the reasons I'm doing these things and why I keep doing this repetitive thing and just move forward in a different way. If I choose to. If I don't choose to, that's fine too. But no one's telling you how to live. And I think that's where sometimes belief systems can be a little tricky and make us feel very boxed in and make us feel disconnected from ourselves spiritually because there's specific things we need to be doing or not doing. And I think this is where I think you just need to figure out your own way around both of these, spirituality and belief systems / religion. They can both coexist. They can be very connected. And there's nothing wrong with this. And I think if anybody's told you otherwise, then really figure out what's right for you. And spirituality is never against anything unless it's hurting somebody and it's doing more harm than good. So I think that's where you need to figure out what's right for you and make your own choices. And also realize that in this life, because of this free will, when people are throwing ideas and telling us what to do, it can be quite tricky because they're pushing us away from our God-given right, from the spiritual law of free will. And I don't agree with that. I really don't. So when I say I think this is just me, Lorena, speaking right now, but also at a spiritual level, your masters, your guides, your soul would be like, do what you want to do. Do what's right for you. No one can tell you what to do, right? Yeah, so, yeah, I didn't want to go too much into any specific religions or belief systems. It's not about that. I just wanted to show that you don't need to believe or not believe in something to be connected to the Akashic Records, for example, and that you can be super connected to a belief system and still get a reading and still receive information as long as you're open to receiving it and feel comfortable and safe. And the same goes for being a reader. I think there's a lot to say about spirituality in the sense that it can help so many as long as we're open to learning and to understanding ourselves more. And I guess this is just like question everything. Like we always say in the podcast, it's what I'm doing right now and the belief system I've been given and I've grown up with. Is that serving me in some way? Is that helping me? Is that really feeding me more fear? Or is that really helping me open up to my true empowerment and my path and my purpose? And that'll be different for everybody. So there's no right or wrong answer here. But I also wanted to open up this conversation because I think it's something people come to us a lot about, and it feels like, yeah, sometimes it could be a tricky thing to talk about with many people. And we're not here to judge. We're not here to tell you what's right or wrong, but we're also here to tell you how we see it through the Akashic Records and how we've experienced it through others and through ourselves. And to really just realize that you need to do what's right for you. You choose. You have free will. And this goes with anything outside of, belief systems and spirituality. Whatever's going on right now in the world, you are here to choose what's right for you and to become very connected to your needs, your life, and what's right for you. And that's a strong message that's been coming through for a bit now. And I think a lot of us have been giving up our power and allowing other people to decide for us and becoming puppets in a way. And it's no. You know what's right for you. Trust that. Stop letting people tell you what's right or wrong. If something doesn't feel right, trust that gut feeling you're getting. It's there for a reason. Don't ignore it. And I get really fired up with this because it's like, it's something that I always had trouble with, and I always lived in fear, and I still do. I'm very fearful of things. But I've been leaning more and more into my intuition, into what's right for me. And my gosh, I'm making completely different decisions. And I will continue to make very different decisions in my life. So I guess it's just a little message from the Akashic Records that I think a lot of you needed to hear. So yeah. So we actually have a few messages we wanted to give you guys. And we're really excited because Lucy and I actually sat down together the other day and we decided to put together a few kind of packages, I guess you want to call them. Kind of just packages that include the Akashic Records, some that include flowers, some that include angelic healing, and yeah, just kind of to help you guys. Because I know, like we were saying, it's been a difficult year. It's been a difficult time for a lot of us. And we want to help as much as we can. So the idea with these packages is they're going to help with pricing and help with getting things to you guys in a more, in a not so expensive or in a cheaper way, I guess. And be more accessible. I think that's the best word here. So we have 4 packages. Package number 1, which includes angelic healing and flower essence therapy. So that would be 1 of each. And then the second package, which is 3 angelic healings and 3 flower essence therapy formulas. And that would be like a 3-month package. And then we have package number 3, which is 1 angelic healing, 1 dual Akashic Records reading, and 1 flower essence therapy. And then we have package 4, which is 3 angelic healings, 3 flower essence therapies, and 1 dual Akashic Records reading. So these are all discounted by a bit. And the idea here is that we're just able to offer you guys more complete packages with healing and information and just helping you guys out however we can and realizing that we can all help each other somehow. So we're always here for you guys. We will post the link to these packages. I think I'm going to put like a little landing page where you guys can just access it and just see all the info. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you just email us at soultribepodcast@gmail.com. We can answer any questions you have there. I will leave the link here on this episode show notes so you guys can access all the information for each package and the pricing. And we will be coming out with level 2 information very soon. We're just kind of getting the whole structure of the course together. We're really, really, really excited to bring this to you guys. So make sure that if you are interested in doing level 2, you've already done level 1, to click on the link for the sign up page so we have your contact details. And we'll make sure to put you on the list for the classes. We'll have a few options for dates, and we'll be communicating all that to you via newsletters. And I suppose we'll put some of that on social media too to let you guys know. So yeah, I'm just gonna end this episode here. I hope you guys have a great week. Sending you guys a big hug. And yeah, just trust yourself, guys. Know that you guys have all the answers inside of yourselves. And we're here to support you on that journey. Love you guys. Bye.